What's up, people? So, I'm what you need. My name is Anson Phillip. I'm what you need. If you like what you're hearing on my channel, you can always subscribe to my channel, donate to my channel via Western Union or MoneyGram. You can share my videos, like videos, etc. We're going to talk a little bit about Demetrius Andrade's strategy versus Terrence Crawford's strategy. And we'll talk about that mainly because um, one of the things that Terrence Crawford is doing right, in my opinion, is keeping his name relevant and on the mouths of people. All right, and I think staying relevant is very important in boxing, so people don't forget you. Um, so one thing a lot of people were critiquing Terrence for, I think it was a year or so ago, was he wasn't saying nothing. Bob Arum was doing all the talking, and Terrence Crawford wouldn't say nothing, right? Well, Terrence Crawford is now talking, and he's talking like he should be talking, and I think that is what is allowing us to have the conversations about Terrence Crawford, which is a very good thing. Um, Demetrius Andrade. Well, not a lot of people are talking about Demetrius Andrade. Demetrius Andrade is not doing anything. Neither his management team or his promoters doing anything to push him. And so Demetrius Andrade is just in the dark, and he can't get those big fights with those big names. See, the key thing here, a lot of people talk about how Terrence Crawford is getting ducked, and how Demetrius Andrade is getting ducked. But at the end of the day, that don't mean shit. What these guys really want is not to be ducked. They want the fights. They want big fights. Big fights bring big money, and they also bring a lot of attention to them, helps their reputation, etc. So these guys are hungry for the big fights. That's what's really the thing that counts, right? At the end of the day, the important thing for the boxer, that is that they get big fights. For us as the fans, we get to see the fights we want to see, which is what we really are concerned about. We're not concerned about, the business side of boxing and all that shit. We just get interested in the fact that we want to pay for something, or we want to see something that it blows our imagination. It's something we want to see because it's so anticipated by us. So that's the bottom line, right? Now, the thing about it is, Demetrius Andrade ain't doing nothing to help himself right now. He's not a name right now. He's not a buzz right now. In fact, nobody really considers him the most ducked fighter in boxing right now, and he is. He's the guy that's mostly ducked by almost his entire division and a division above. In fact, Canelo Alvarez, he going to 168. That's to tell you how far he want to move, as far away from Demetrius Andrade as possible. It's not a name on Canelo Alvarez's lips. Canelo Alvarez, anytime you talk about Demetrius Andrade, it's very derogatory because he doesn't want to face Demetrius Andrade. That's the truth of the matter. He's the most dark fighter in boxing right now. And it's the funniest thing in the world because Demetrius Andrade, he's not known as a knockout artist. He's just a very, very good boxer. He's known for his boxing skills. And he is a tough fight for just about everybody. And he is one of the most ducked guys. Shout out to Roa. Canelo was already practically signed to face Andrade had the Kovalev fight fallen through. Well, not really. He wasn't practically signed to do nothing. Canelo, from what I've seen, didn't want any piece of Demetrius Andrade at all. They weren't trying to get Demetrius Andrade. That's why he waited for the Kovalev fight with Anthony Yard to go through. He was waiting on that fight, And again, this dude is not going to return to middleweight at this point in time. He looks like he's going to be going at 168. So that's telling you sums. He's not interested. And he said it. He said it with his own mouth. I'm not interested in a fight with Demetrius Andrade. He's not interested in going down to 160 and facing him. If he was interested, then he'd go down to 160 and say, I got to finish business at 160. I want to face Demetrius Andrade. Okay? This is just a fact. In fact, Canelo's not the only guy. That's the point. Demetrius Andrade, why I say he's the most duck fighter right now in boxing. And it's, again, I'm just saying, I'm just giving you guys facts, is because his whole entire division doesn't want to face him. Okay? The top tier guys in his division don't want to face him. Gennady Golovkin doesn't want to face him. We all know this. Right? Gennady Golovkin's not interested in facing Demetrius Andrade. Jamal Charlo has not faced him. I mean, he is across the pond, but Demetrius Andrade actually made an offer to him, it is said, alleged. And we don't know what Jamal Charlo is going to do with that offer. But from what I've heard from Jamal Charlo, when he talks about Demetrius Andrade, again, he has no respect for him. He's very derogatory about Demetrius Andrade. Now we know these guys have prior history, but the point is, Charlo don't seem. I don't know. We'll see if he's interested in facing Demetrius Andrade. Doesn't look like that. He looked like he's more interested in facing Canelo and Triple G, as he should, than he wants to face Demetrius Andrade. Okay, and Demetrius Andrade's a champion in his division. This is the weird thing about it. He a champ. Okay, but it don't look like he want to face him. But that's, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm premature. Maybe that's not the case. We'll see. But the point is, Danny Jacobs said he ain't gonna face him because he's his brother. So Danny Jacobs don't want to face him. He was once the IBF champion. He was once at 160. He's now at 168. Billy Joe Saunders don't want to face him. Okay, and they were like this. They were ready to make the fight, and then some sanctioning body or some drug detection agency found that Billy Joe Saunders had something in the system they shouldn't have had. Okay, which we now later learned UCAD has sort of cleared him on that it was okay because he was out of season when he got dealt with that or whatever. I don't know what was the case. Some cough, some cold thing or some kind of thing. I don't know what it was. But the point is, now Demetrius Andrade trying to make that fight again with Billy Joe Saunders, who's at 168, and Demetrius Andrade is 160. Billy Joe Saunders not even interested in entertaining the notion of facing Demetrius Andrade. Okay, so he left in the cold on that one, and he literally answered him back, telling him to the effect, "I'm not interested in you." Okay, so Billy Joe Saunders not interested in Demetrius Andrade. Triple G's not interested in Demetrius Andrade. Canelo's not interested in Demetrius Andrade. Danny Jacobs said he ain't gonna face Demetrius Andrade, period. Then Derevyanchenko mentioned every name but Demetrius Andrade. He said, "Man, bring him on, Jamal Charlo. Bring him on. You know, I want a rematch with Triple G. I don't mind facing Canelo." No Demetrius Andrade name in there. I'm just saying. It's like Demetrius Andrade don't exist. Yet Derevyanchenko crosses from the PBC to the zone to face Triple G. Now, again, to be fair, all right, if you're going to cross the seas and go and have a contract with the zone, you want to face somebody who got some sort of, as we say, legacy behind him. So I get why he faced Triple G. Triple G got all his legacy, got all these fighters. He got Danny Jacobs on his resume, got Canelo on his resume. He got world champion David Lemieux when he unified on his resume. He got, Daniel Gill, who once was, a great name on his resume. He got some names on his resume. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to all these other guys, that we're talking about, whether it's, Danny Jacobs, who's got, he had Triple G on his resume. He had, Canelo on his resume. Derevyanchenko faced him. Derevyanchenko faced him and Triple G, I believe it is, and I don't think he has any other great names. He has some okay names, but when you talk about those names, they got legacy behind them. When it comes to Demetrius Andrade, he don't got those kinds of names on his resume. So I get it. Canelo said, Demetrius Andrade, you need to get names on his resume. Now, here's the thing. Hold on a second. One of you guys just made a response to me, which was Roa. He said, look it up. Canelo and Andrade was close to being done for October in Las Vegas. Kovalev was the first choice, with Andrade being the backup plan had he lost versus Yard. Let me say this. Canelo could have made that deal with Demetrius Andrade right after his fight with Danny Jacobs. Canelo didn't have to lose his IBF title. Okay? So I don't agree. Canelo said at the beginning of 2019 he wanted to unify all the belts. He wanted to get all the belts. So I do not understand why his team and himself did not push for the Demetrius Andrade fight in the beginning of the year. So I don't want to hear that talk about, they was close to having an agreement with it. I don't believe that. They had the entire fucking year to make that fight. Okay? And Canelo has since proven that he don't want that fight. And he said it. He said, "I'm not interested in Demetrius Andrade." He literally said that when he had signed the deal with Kovalev. He's not interested. And he said he's boring and he's all of this. He literally said it with his own mouth. So it doesn't matter what you saw reported. Okay? He wasn't going to face Demetrius Andrade. And that was the guy that was supposed to finish off the deal. All right? He would have had all the belts. So I don't buy that. And to this day, to this day, Canelo isn't showing any sort of interest in facing a Demetrius Andrade. He's not even thinking of coming back to the 160 division, right? He relinquished, if I'm not mistaken, the WBA super champion belt up from the 160 division. As far as I know, I may be wrong. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. But at the end of the day, he's not interested in going back to 160. He's not interested in fighting at 175. We know he relinquished that title there, the WBO, which means Anthony Yarde might get in place to maybe even face Sergio Kovalev back for that title. Who knows? But here's the thing. In addition to that, we're also looking at the fact that he relinquished his WBA 168 title? I don't think so. So it looks like he's going to be campaigning at 168. He's going to be having a fight at 168. We don't know if it's Billy Joe Saunders. We don't know if it's Callum Smith. It looks like those are the two more obvious names that he's going to face at 168. My point anyway is this, and I don't have a problem with him facing Billy Joe Saunders because I think that Billy Joe Saunders and Demetrius Andrade, they were supposed to face each other and we would have seen who was the better of the two. So I don't have a problem with him facing Billy Joe Saunders. But my point is this. He ain't looking like he's trying to make any steps to face Demetrius Andrade at this point in time. Okay? He clearly does not want to face Demetrius Andrade. This is what he's saying. He said, I have no interest in it. So he's not interested in facing him. That means he doesn't want to face him. That's what it's saying. Okay? If I have no interest in facing a fighter, I don't want to face that fighter. So he does not want to face him. Okay? He's being avoided, in other words. Whether you like it or not, that's the way how that is. All right? He's being avoided. And he's been avoided by Canelo. He's been avoided by Triple G. Okay, his name came up. He was avoided by Triple G. Triple G's team did not want him. Okay, and Triple G had the option of facing Demetrius Andrade before the IBF title was vacated by Canelo. He had the option of facing Demetrius Andrade. He never tried. Okay, and then when the IBF title was made available, vacated to face Derevyanchenko, he preferred to face Derevyanchenko than a Demetrius Andrade. Okay? And that's just what it is. He would have had the WBO belt. Didn't want to face Demetrius Andrade. Okay? Demetrius Andrade's out there dangling the belt like, hey, guys, look at me. But that's not the point. My point is, Terrence Bud Crawford, he almost has a signed deal with Errol Spence. We know that Bob Arum and Al Heyman talked. And in 2020, as Errol Spence said, in 2020, it looks like that fight will happen. Okay? Terrence Crawford looks like he's closer to the finishing line, okay, getting a big fight than Demetrius Andrade. And my point is, I'm not hearing Demetrius Andrade's voice. I hear him when there's an event happening, but I don't hear him otherwise. Terrence Bud Crawford has been keeping the pressure on. He's been talking nonstop since the beginning of 2019, okay? Tried to make the fight with Danny Garcia. This is what they said. And it seems as though Danny Garcia and his team avoided that. That's what people are saying. Okay? I don't know how true that is. But from what Danny Garcia is saying, it makes sense to me that Terrence Crawford did put out an offer on the table. Okay? Now, whether they say they did see it or they didn't see it, they didn't respond as openly as Canelo did. They didn't respond as openly as other fighters have done openly about Demetrius Andrade. But for that point in case, that case in point, we know at least that Danny Garcia, and I verified my facts. The last video I had to correct it. I said Danny Garcia had a fight with Adrian Granados when Terrence Crawford and they made the offer. That's not true. Actually, Bomac said it would happen earlier on in the year. Now, from what I heard and when the information came out, it was in November of 2018 that I heard this, and the information was circulating around. So I thought, well, obviously, Danny Garcia had a fight already arranged with Adrian Granados, and it was reported on Fox when they started premiering their champions. But that's not the case here. In the case, it was earlier on in the year after Danny Garcia had faced Adrian Granados. I went and did my homework and realized that I had my facts wrong. And it actually happened in the March when Bomac and his team and the management team and their team presented something to assumingly Danny's team. Okay, I do not know how the information came. Danny's allegedly saying that he didn't get no name. He didn't, Terrence Crawford's name never came up. And usually how this works with the PBC fighters is they get a list of names, Al Heyman's management team presents them with a list of names of fighters they want to face, that they possibly could face, and you have to pick out the name. So that's what Danny Garcia, hey, that name was never presented to me. Now, I don't know how true that is. I don't know if Danny's lying. I don't know if he's telling the truth. What I can say is Terrence Crawford's team did make an offer. All right? Now, if they said they made an offer, and Danny Garcia know now that they made an offer, okay, why is it that Danny Garcia is not engaging Terrence Crawford on that? Oh, you made an offer? You want to remake an offer? Talk with Al Heyman, my boss, and let's get it cracking. All right? If that really is the case, that's what Danny Garcia would be talking. He's not talking like that. Okay, he's talking like, I don't need Terrence and all this sort of stuff. I'm not saying that he's disclaiming what Terrence said, because he's saying maybe they did send something, but usually like Angel Garcia and Danny Garcia say, you don't send it into us, you send it into Al Heyman. All right, and clearly we all know Al Heyman is the guy that manages these guys, so they really do send their stuff to Al Heyman. But even so, even if we put the context that Terrence Crawford is ducked by Danny Garcia, right? Danny Garcia, they put an offer to Danny Garcia's team, and they did not respond. They didn't say, I don't want to face this guy, but they did not respond, okay? Even if we assume, it's all assumption here, because obviously it's a he said, she said kind of thing. But let's just say he ducked Danny Garcia. Who else ducked him? Who else ducked him? And that's the point I'm making. The entire division is not ducking Terrence Crawford, okay? Sean Porter and his team, Kenny Porter, and they say, we entertain the notion of facing Terrence Crawford. We got to face him next. All right. Sean Porter hasn't really gone on record and said anything. He said he's talking to Terrence about it a couple of times, and he said after the fight Terrence Crawford had with Gavaliaskas, they'd like to talk again. Terrence Crawford categorically said that he's not interested in the Sean Porter fight, which is very interesting. Okay, I don't understand it. It makes no sense to me. He said it on his own. It makes no sense to me that he would say something like that. That's something you should not say, in my opinion. Because whenever a fighter says, I'm not interested in this fighter, it can be taken immediately as ducking. Okay? Immediately as ducking. Why are you not interested in facing this fighter? That makes no sense to me. And don't tell me you're friends. So, but I'm not saying he's ducking Sean Porter or anything like that. All I'm saying is, that makes no damn sense to me. Sean Porter just was in a very great life and death fight with Errol Spence Jr. The fight went Errol Spence Jr.'s way. Sean Porter lost that fight. He's absolutely a style I would love to see Terrence Crawford handle. Makes all the sense in the world to me and most fans to see that fight. That would be a great fight. We would like to see how Terrence Crawford would handle a Sean Porter. Okay? But Terrence Crawford shut that thing down. And then he told him, don't even mention that stuff to me anymore. So that's the problem. If you have an opportunity presented to you and you turn that opportunity down, like Dillian White did with Anthony Joshua, we cannot say you're universally ducked by the entire division because somebody has come to the table. Kell Brook's another guy who presented that he wanted to face Terrence Crawford. He maintained that in the September interview where Errol Spence was supposed to face Sean Porter. He maintained that again on Sky Sports. People were saying that Kell Brook couldn't make the weight, and there was this alleged rumor going around, which was not fact, that Kell Brook couldn't make weight, and that's why he, when Terrence Crawford's team contacted him, he was saying, I don't know about that. I disagree. Okay, Kell Brook has been constant in the gym and outside saying he want all them tough guys. Okay, he's never changed his tune, so I don't understand why he would change his tune now. Okay, again, a he said versus she said. Kell Brook still says he wants Terrence Crawford. Why would he be saying that? And then in the background, he's saying something else. That don't make no sense to me. The other guy that a lot of people are talking about, again, there's lots of opportunities for Terrence Crawford. We do not know if he reached out, his team reached out to these guys. Jesse Vargas. Everybody was saying, oh, he a 154 pounder. He's campaigning at 154. Well, he's facing Mike Garcia at 147. All right. Yes, we know that Jesse Vargas was chasing after Jaime Munguia. Couldn't get that fight. I understand that. But did they reach out to Jesse Vargas? This is the question I want to know. Did they reach out to Sergey Lipinets? This is a guy that was interviewed by Ellie Seckbeck. Obviously, again, they had to go through Al Heyman to get to Sergey Lipinets. The question is, did they try to do that? We don't know. What we do know is these are also available opponents that he could have faced. Okay. And we never got a concrete answer by those guys to say that they were ducking him. This is the problem. All right. To say they were avoiding him. Obviously, Terrence Crawford's management team would have been looking for different opportunities that they could not get for him. And the last thing, which really takes away from all this ducking stuff, is Terrence Crawford, at the beginning of last year, had an opportunity to renew his contract or to move to some other business venture. He could have not resigned his top-ranked deal and gone across to PBC like most of these fighters are doing, even if it's a one-fight contract or whatever, to be able to get the fights that he wants. Instead, he resigned his contract for an entire year again with Top Rank. So if you really are interested in having a fight with another opponent, I understand leverage and all of that, you would, if you really are serious about it, like Deontay Wilder, like Danny Jacobs, like Mikey Garcia, like a bunch of guys in boxing, if you're really serious about going after them guys, you would, there are two things you do. You confront them in their press conferences and stuff, and you go to their stuff and confront them. And the other thing you would do is you would go over to their side of the fence to get the fights with them. Now, to be fair, Demetrius Andrade did that. And what happened with him? Okay? He needs to make more noise. Demetrius Andrade, the thing that's successful with Terrence Crawford, he's making noise. He's making a lot of noise. He and his promoter are making noise. Mostly him, not his promoter so much. Mostly him. He's stirring up a storm on Twitter. He's stirring up a storm everywhere. He's being very outspoken. Floyd Mayweather said it. You have to be outspoken in boxing to actually get what you want. And he's being very much outspoken. So people are either against him or for him. He's commenting on everything. He's talking about Tank Davis. He's talking about everybody. And that's Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford is very argumentative, very outspoken individual, and we've finally seen that dimension of himself. We were seeing this quiet dude all the time. Now he's being outspoken, and I think that's a good thing that's working in his interest, and I think that's where he's shining, whereas Demetrius Andrade, he stopped being that, and he's not jumping on different platforms and speaking a lot. But here's the other thing about Demetrius Andrade that Terrence Crawford is doing that he's not doing. Terrence Crawford is playing the victim role, and he's playing it very, very well. He said, these guys are ducking me. And he's saying, look at poor me. Look at the guys I got to face because these guys are ducking me. This is a game that Bob Arum plays very, very, very well. He makes the other guys look like they are black cats. They are evil Knievels. They're the villain. And my guy's the shining knight, the great example. And he plays that game. He played it with Pacquiao. He played with a number of his fighters. And we've seen that same thing with Triple G. Triple G, Tom Loeffler and company, they really worked a very good job with Triple G of painting that picture that Triple G is the shining light because he can keep on getting knockouts. Whereas the other guys, they're not shining lights. And the thing with Terrence Crawford is in every single performance, you could expect a knockout from him. And the trick to it is, and Mayweather Promotion been doing it with Gervonta Davis as well, is to make the guy look spectacular. So that everybody be like, nah, this guy's really good. He's the best. You know, this is the guy to face. Okay? Terrence Crawford has been fed guys that make him look good. And the excuse pattern around it, which is perfect, so what they did with Triple G, is they make you believe this guy, he being ducked so much, he not getting the fights he want. So he keeps on looking better and better against lower tier opposition than himself and makes everybody feel, oh, this guy's a killer, man. This guy got skills. He's a killer. Man, he will destroy them guys at the higher level, right? And all this hype is built around him to make those fights happen. The whole point behind promoting in boxing is to make the big fights happen. That's what it's all about. Okay? And that's where Terrence Crawford, no matter what, he just keep on talking, running his mouth, because that works. The fans get divided about him. People say all kinds of things. He keeps himself in the conversation. And in the meantime, even though he's fighting sub-tier guys, it's kind of like what Marvel did with their universe. They had us all looking for Avengers Endgame. They're looking for Thanos clash with the Avengers. So they're giving you subpar shit. A lot of subpar shit. Because you expect at the end this great climax. So they give you a lot of shit. And you like it. You eat it up because, man, this big clash at the end. And that's what Bob Arum has done. He's got this big clash with Errol Spence at the end. Once Errol Spence don't fuck it up, which he almost did. This big clash at the end, this climax. So everybody don't mind what it don't matter what Terrence Crawford faced. It matters what Errol Spence faced because he's the villain. Bob Arum established who the villain is, and he established who the hero is. Terrence Crawford's the hero. He pound for pound #1, 3-divisional world champion. Unified, undisputed champion. He the shining light for the world. It don't matter what the fuck Terrence Crawford do. He gonna be the shining light. He pound for pound #1. He's been endorsed by Buddy McGirt, even Floyd Mayweather, all these guys. He the best. He can beat everybody. It don't matter what he getting feed. And he can feed scrubs, guys that are not really all that. But you know what? He can't get them great guys. It's a great storyline. And I'm not saying that Bud ain't great. He's not a fantastic fighter. He is. But he's not facing opposition on his level. He's not. He's not facing opposition on his level. The closest thing to his level was Amir Khan, who got stopped just about a fight before. Now, here's what we can argue. Amir Khan was the bigger guy. He had been fighting all the way up to 160. Terrence Crawford dropped his ass. Made him look arbitrary. Was Khan decayed or anything? No, of course. That was Amir Khan. That is the Amir Khan. Amir Khan's not decayed. He's not faded, but he's found out. People know how to beat Amir Khan. And Terrence Crawford displayed that in beautiful fashion. I loved it. Okay? They then compared him to what Canelo did to Amir Khan. I get it. But at the end of the day, Amir Khan avoided all the top welterweights in the division for a reason. Because Amir Khan knows in his mind, those guys would take care of him just like how Terrence Crawford did. Probably in an even worse fashion. Right? So Amir Khan has not been facing the top welterweights. We all know this. Everybody knows this. They craft his career very carefully. Now, Amir Khan out here is talking about a fight with Kell Brook. That sounds good too. We'll see how that works out. But at the end of the day, that's his best win at welterweight. That's his best win. Amir Khan, who's not top 10. Okay? Maybe he is. Maybe in the bottom half of top 10. Maybe he did crack it to the top 10. But he's not faced the top welterweights in the division. We know who the top welterweights are. I'm not talking top 10 now. They're very top. Okay? And that's his level. All right? In fact, just so you guys would understand, Terrence Crawford respects Danny Garcia. He said, in the amateurs, Danny Garcia beat me once. I beat him once. He said he's a hell of a champion. He talked about Danny Garcia as a hell of a champion. Now, Bob Arum he played a really great game. And all of this I'm saying so that people understand why Demetrius Andrade needs to take some of that blueprint and work it. The problem with it is he needs to have a promoter that also will take the blueprint and talk in front of Bob Arum, in front of anybody. Eddie Hearn should be adamant about not Terrence Crawford, but Demetrius Andrade. He's not adamant about him. He's not strong on Demetrius Andrade. He also hasn't been strong on Dillian White. These are some of the fighters I noticed Eddie Hearn is not very good at promoting. Kell Brook, Demetrius Andrade, James DeGale, Dillian White. These are some of the guys he really has a problem knowing how to promote. Okay? He knows how to promote some guys, but these guys, he don't know how to do it. He don't know how to do it right. All of these guys I just spoke about, except for Kell Brook, are outspoken guys. Kell Brook has done a lot for boxing. Kell Brook can't get a fucking decent fight. He can't get a fight. Eddie Hearn be talking about, you come up on this card or you come up on that. Kell Brook hasn't been in any fight. All he has had is one super welterweight fight. Was it a catchweight? It wasn't even the full-blown super welterweight, which told me that Kell Brook can't even be a full-blown super welterweight. He beat the guy, Zerafa, who just recently there, with that kid that beat Manny Pacquiao and then Terrence Crawford trounced. He just came back and beat Zerafa in a close fight. All right? And Sarafa is a great boxer. We all know this. I mean, Peter Quillen knocked his ass out, but he's a good boxer. He's solid. The point anyway is that Zarafa being the bigger dude, you know, Kell Brook didn't knock him out. Everybody was expecting Kell Brook to knock out Zarafa. I was thinking to myself, why? Because you don't know Zarafa. I guess that's what it is. But at the end of the day, he did not knock out Zarafa. He beat him, but it wasn't easy. Okay, and Zarafa's a good boxer. We all know this now. The point anyway is this. That Zarafa campaigns, by the way, at middleweight and super welterweight. So he's a big dude. But the point anyway is this. That just because Kell Brook didn't look so great in his last fight doesn't mean that when he come back down to welterweight, he would get trounced by welterweights. And this is the thing a lot of people saying, Kell Brook is damaged goods after Gennady Golovkin. Not really. Okay? If you do remember, his fight right after Gennady Golovkin was against Errol Spence. He was beating Errol Spence's ass for a couple first rounds until Errol Spence started breaking him down. And then Errol Spence started breaking him down, changing the fight, changing the momentum of the fight, and then he broke his eye, his next eye. All right? Now, even saying that, Kell Brook is a hell of a fighter. Okay? He a hell of a fighter, and we saw that in the Zarafa fight. His eye didn't get broken in that fight, and Zarafa was a bigger dude. I do think that Kell Brook just needs more fights now under his belt. He's probably rusty. So he just needs a couple more fights under his belt. And then he needs to get back into the mix with these welterweights ASAP because time's against him. All right? But the point is, I believe that a Kell Brook fight with Terence Crawford is going to be a much tougher fight than a Amir Khan fight. Mainly because Kell Brook's a much better defensive fighter, a much more accurate puncher, a guy who deals with timing, footwork, and all of that. I would have loved to see what Terence could do against him. Okay? I would have loved to see that. And I don't care what nobody says. That's a much better fight than all the other fights that Kell Brook has had. I'm sorry, Terence Crawford has had. But that's beside the point. Talking promotion. Promotion-wise, I think that Terence Crawford, promoting himself, that is, keeping himself relevant, being outspoken, is helping him a lot more. Even though he's still not getting the desired fights, it's helping him at present. It's helping him a lot more to be in the public's eye than, say, a Demetrius Andrade, who the public doesn't know exists. Okay? That's the whole point. Bob Arum's strategy, while a lot of people don't like it, I don't personally like it, it works. Pump the guys, pump them, call them out, pump them, make all the noise in the world. Even tell lies about it. It don't matter. Make them look like the villain. Make them look like they subpar. Make them look like the fights are not competitive. But my point coming back, we all know Danny Garcia versus Terence Crawford would be a competitive fight. I've told you, if you want to know a fight that I would love to see is Terence Crawford versus Danny Garcia. Any day, any time. Okay? Because I know that's going to be a hell of a fight, and Danny going to bring it. And Terence may be on the back foot for some of the fight. Danny may be on the front foot. And who knows? The fight may finish with Terence on the front foot and Danny on the back foot. We don't know. But I would love to see a fight like that. I'd love to see it. Because not only do these guys have amateur history, but they both were unified 140-pound champions. They were the men of their division at 140. Terence did one better. He became undisputed. Danny faced some fucking names at 140. Okay? His names are just blow Terence Crawford's name out of the water at 140. All right? And because these two were disputing about who had the better resume and stuff, I would have loved to see that clash. I would have loved to see that clash. All right? That's a fight that I would love to see. I said it again. It's probably the most anticipated fight. People say, well, Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford is an anticipated fight. It's okay. I mean, it's all right. I mean, but I just don't think that those two mesh up perfectly. I think what Terence does in terms of his boxing is going to play into Errol Spence's hand, in my opinion. I don't know about you guys, but I just think Errol Spence, like Sean Porter, the fact that he didn't want to face Sean Porter, but he want to face Errol Spence, tell me something. You know, he's not interested in facing Sean Porter, which means he doesn't want to face Sean Porter. He's not interested in facing Sean Porter, but he's interested in facing Errol Spence. To me, Errol Spence is the worst of the two evils. Sean Porter, he don't always land his punches. Errol does land his punches when he throws. And Errol works the body. I mean, it's just, I just don't think that's a great idea. Even at this time, even though Terence is very, very strong, he's proven he's very strong. I just think, though, that Errol is just a different kind of beast. But that's my opinion, okay? The point is, I would love to see that fight anyway. But I'm not really as anticipating that fight as much as Danny Garcia. I know Danny Garcia got a hell of a lot more power than Errol does. And I just think that Danny Garcia is so much bigger now than when he came to the division that I would love to see Danny Garcia versus Terrence Crawford. But maybe we'll get Errol versus Terrence Crawford before that happens. And maybe Danny will face Errol afterwards. I don't know. But I just think that the promotional strategy that Bob Arum has been using, all right, it's working in terms of, it's not working right now. There's no results for it. But it's making people believe that this guy is getting ducked by the entire division, which is not true at all. He's getting ducked by the entire division so that he could face these subpar opponents and Bob Arum can make his money in-house. And he's been doing that with Pacquiao. He did it with Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao left him, right? He tried to feed Manny Pacquiao to Jeff Horn, and he put everything in Jeff Horn's favor so that Jeff Horn could win. You know, if Jeff Horn remained standing at the end of the fight, he was going to get it anyway, right? Based on his style and everything, Bob Arum figured that out. So, Bob Arum was able to pass the torch to Jeff Horn, and then Jeff Horn was able to pass the torch to his fighter, Terrence Crawford. That's how Bob Arum did it. It was pretty smart, if you ask me. And Terrence Crawford right now, Bob Arum was working off the fact that Terrence Crawford being avoided, which is clever, once again. And again, you look at the guys like Keith Thurman, these guys, they didn't really help the narrative. Nobody wanted to engage Terrence Crawford, it seemed. You know, they were talking about their thing, the PBC side of the fence, and they doing their PBC thing. So it would look like they avoided Terrence Crawford. When they really didn't avoid him, they freeze his ass out. He ain't a PBC fighter. And Al Heyman got all the PBC fighters, and it was like, fuck Terrence Crawford. Come across on our side. They know. Another thing about Bob Arum is Bob Arum don't relinquish to nobody. He always like to do his terms on his platforms. Bob Arum had this thing with HBO. So Manny Pacquiao ended up on HBO platform. Bob Arum keep on insisting. His side always the A side, because I'm Bob Arum. Fuck y'all. So Manny Pacquiao went to his own casino. No time did Bob Arum give anything into Floyd Mayweather except for Floyd Mayweather's company paying all the fucking bills. He's like, oh, you want to make the Pacquiao back? We're going to pay all expenses. You're going to be the one carrying the weight of this shit. So Bob Arum made it very difficult for Floyd Mayweather's company to be able to make that fight. Okay? And why I say that is because Bob Arum, once again, is on this clown ass shit. He's not going to carry Terrence Crawford over to the PBC and have him fight on Fox. Never mind that Errol Spence has a contract with Fox. That not going to happen. He going to have to come over to ESPN. He going to have to go to Omaha, Nebraska. Fucking in the middle of nowhere to face Terrence Crawford. This is the way how Bob Arum works things. This is the way how he wanted to do it. He wanted Terrence Crawford to sit down like a drone, fight all of these little guys that are not on his level. Always Terrence Crawford must win. So guys that are not on Terrence Crawford's level, you just look at the matchup that Bob Arum been doing with Tyson Fury. He been doing matchups, all his superstars. Tyson Fury. Been fed guys that are just not on his level so that he could get the Deontay Wilder fight, right? Same thing with Terrence Crawford. These guys, Amir Khan is probably the best name on that whole fucking lot. Jeff Horn, the weakest fucking WBC, the weakest fucking welterweight champion in the division. That's where he gave his belt off, right? We're not gonna lie, we're just doing facts, right? Then he goes and he has a fight with Jose Benavidez. I excuse it. Eno Benavidez been shot 8 times in the leg, ain't recovered from his leg injury on none of that shit. We excuse it. Why would we excuse it? We excuse it because at the end of the day, he just became world champion in the welterweight division. He testing out his strength and all that shit. So we let it pass. All right? And Jose Benavidez is a good fighter. Even though he got clocked upside the fucking head by Maestro. The guy that beat Danny Garcia. Y'all know who I'm talking about. He got clubbed upside the head. Okay? And David Benavidez got clubbed upside the head by the Mayweather fighter from Eastern Europe. Okay? Both of them been exposed. If y'all really been paying attention. Because guess what? Neither of them can inside fight. So anyway, back to what I was saying. So, at the end of the day, he was fair, that dude. Fine. All right? He able to do well and succeed and even knock the guy out. It was great. And then after that, he went on to face Amir Khan. And everybody saying Amir Khan had a chance. I was like, he gonna knock him the fuck out. Khan's the guy to get knocked out. He gonna get knocked the fuck out. Now, he didn't knock him out, but he dropped him. Okay? And every other top tier welterweight would have mopped the floor with Khan. We all know this. This ain't no new news. We don't expect Amir Khan to beat none of them top welterweights. Okay. My point being, that's the guys he's being fed. He thankfully got a name, Amir Khan, who was willing to face him. That people would say, oh yeah, it's Amir Khan. He just went and faced Canelo at 160. He a tough guy. Khan will fight everybody. No, Khan will not fight everybody. He's avoiding like the plague the top tier welterweights. Okay? So at the end of the day, that's what Terrence Crawford had. But why people, even though his ratings was terrible and his pay-per-views were horrible, why are people still talking about Terrence Crawford and they keep his name in his mouth? Because Terrence Crawford kept on chatting. He ran it. He started talking. And that worked. Because now the promoter is saying punk ass shit. And Terrence Crawford saying the same punk ass shit. They on the same page with that. And that's what we need. We need a guy that bump his gun, run his mouth. Right? Because he's out of the loop. He ain't on PBC. And he ain't going to PBC. That's what Terrence Crawford basically said. I ain't going to no damn PBC. I'm on the A side. Y'all gonna have to come to me. Y'all gonna have to go to ESPN Plus, and you gonna fight me on ESPN Plus. I'm gonna give you whatever I want to give you. Payment. I'm the desired one. He doing the Bubba Aaron punk ass shit. Okay? And y'all know this. But to some degree it's working because it's got some of you guys out there believing that these fighters are ducking Terrence Crawford. That these fighters can't handle Terrence Crawford. They're not on his level. Bobby Aaron was saying, oh, Errol Spence was the guy. And like Sean Porter said, oh, I thought I was an undesirable. Sean Porter was saying this. I thought Bobby Aaron said I was an undesirable. All of a sudden I became desirable. Bobby Aaron's ready to have a fight with me and Terrence Crawford. I remember Sean Porter saying that, and I thought it was really funny. It's really funny because the narrative that Bobby Aaron be pitching to you guys actually believe it. In fact, Errol Spence actually believed it. He said, I'm going to get Sean Porter out of there. You know, I'm gonna knock his ass out. And Sean Porter was like, oh, you really believe that I'm just a cakewalk? You think you can just walk over me? Okay, Ninja, we'll see about that. And in the press conference, Sean Porter came back at Errol Spence like, so my skills are a little bit better than you thought, huh? He was like, yeah. He acknowledged him because Sean Porter was saying, don't believe the bullshit that they be telling you, that they be feeding you. All right? And Sean Porter was like, oh, wait, I wasn't one of them guys that Errol Spence, I thought it was just Errol Spence was the best guy out there. There was other world champions out there. There Manny Pacquiao out there. There was myself. Keith Thurman was one out there. Everybody trashing Keith Thurman right now. Oh, Keith Thurman, he's not big. Oh, Keith Thurman ducked this one and ducked that one. Not to say that he wasn't ducking Errol Spence. Not to say that he might not even possibly be ducking Terrence Crawford. It might be possible. We don't have confirmation of the shit with Terrence Crawford. We know that Keith Thurman was like, pause with Errol Spence, okay? It was like, pause with him, okay? My point anyway is this. That at the end of the day, the question that lies is this. None of those top tier welterweights that we just spoke about, whether it's Manny Pacquiao, whether it's Keith Thurman, whether it's Danny Garcia, whether it's Sean Porter, whether it's Errol Spence, none of them, first of all, had a WBO belt. None of them faced the level of opposition that Terrence Crawford faced. Every one of them faced each other, right? Sean Porter faced Errol Spence. Sean Porter faced Danny Garcia. Sean Porter faced Keith Thurman, okay? Sean Porter faced Kell Brook. All the top tier welterweights Sean Porter has faced, okay? The faded David Alexander, okay? He faced all them guys. Two-time, two-divisional world champion. Are you kidding me? Two-divisional? No, one-divisional. Sorry, my bad. All right? Danny Garcia faced Keith Thurman. Faced Sean Porter. Right? At welterweight, that is. Those are the top tier names that he faced. Right? Keith Thurman faced Manny Pacquiao. He faced Sean Porter and he faced Danny Garcia. You have to face Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. There are two more he has to face. Right? But you look at all those guys I just mentioned, they are not scrubs like Bubba Aaron says. And they ain't trying to duck Terrence Crawford. Okay? The problem with it is Terrence Crawford and Bob Aaron want everything on their terms. They feel they're the A side, which is bullshit. They're not the A side, okay? Errol Spence has 2 belts. How the fuck you are the A side? He got 2 belts. He faced much better opposition than you ever faced in the division. He's faced all the top tier guys. Well, not all the top tier. He faced Sean Porter, Kell Brook, all right? And Kell Brook was the #1 welterweight in the world, and he faced Sean Porter and Kell Brook. I think that's it. Sean Porter, Kell Brook, okay? Mikey Garcia was not a welterweight, so I'm not going to talk about him. Okay, he's now in the welterweight division. So he faced 2 top-tier welterweights. How many top-tier welterweights is Terence Crawford? Of course, none. Okay, he's trying to get one on his resume. And he's shooting for the best one, Errol Spence. Just like how Mikey Garcia did. But you know what the funny thing about it? Mikey Garcia showed up Bobby Arum saying, you know, motherfucker, you gave me a hard time. I'm going to face the top-tier welterweight in the world, Errol Spence Jr., and your ass ain't going to be able to do it with Terence Crawford. I'm going to show you that I can get the fights that need to be get. And if Terence Crawford tomorrow leaves Bobby Arum, he going to get all the fights that he wants. Because Manny Pacquiao left to Bobby Arum to go to the PBC. You think Al Heyman would turn down Terence Crawford coming to the PBC? Fuck no. But do you think Bobby Arum would let Terence Crawford get away and go to the PBC? Fuck no. That's his key piece. But tomorrow, if Terence Crawford goes to the PBC, he getting all the fucking fights. And y'all say, oh no, that's not going to happen. You know, they're going to duck Terence Crawford still like the plague. What's the guarantee that? I'll give one argument. I'll destroy all your arguments. It's very simple. Okay? Bud Crawford has a fucking legacy. There ain't no motherfucker that ain't going to face Bud Crawford for his legacy. He got 2 extra divisions. This man was the undisputed super lightweight champion of the world. And this motherfucker was the lightweight champion of the world. There's no fucking way in hell them guys ain't gonna watch the Terence Crawford and be like, yeah, legend. The problem keeping it back is fucking Bob Arum Top Rank. Because they want terms dictated in their way. They want him to come all the way across the ESPN and have a fight with Terence Crawford. They're not willing to budge on nothing. Okay? That's Bob Arum for you. And they still expect Terence Crawford to make a ton of money with these guys. Well, Terence Crawford ain't making nothing. All his pay-per-view is terrible. His pay-per-view ain't grossing shit. Right? Now they say, well, the level of opponent will boost the pay-per-view. But he can't draw. He's not drawing shit in pay-per-view. Because he's not a pay-per-view star. He needs Errol Spence to do something with a pay-per-view. Sean Porter got better pay-per-view numbers than Errol Spence. That Terence Crawford. Okay? So, but the moment he comes across to the PBC, he gonna get fights. Because everybody knows Al Heyman gives fighters the fights they want. That's what he do. The problem with that is, Bomac is the manager for Terence Crawford. Now he gonna have to share with Al Heyman. I don't know how Bomac feel about that. But Terence Crawford definitely will get the fights that he wants. Because guess what's happening with the PBC fighters? All of them are getting the fights that they want. All the top tier guys. There ain't no guy that ain't get. Pacquiao just came to the PBC like yesterday, right? He already got 2 fights that he wanted. He had a warm-up fight with Adrian Broner. Or was it Lucas Matisse? No, Lucas Matisse was his own promotion. That's what I tell y'all. He went in there. Of course, he got MP promotion, so he has a lot of clout. But he went in there and got fights. His second fucking fight at PBC was Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman. Every one of them top tier PBC fighters have gotten the fights they want. Even your Dennis Ugas. Your Dennis Ugas got Sean Porter, and then after that, who he got? He got Figueroa. Omar Figueroa. Them guys be getting fights. Things be happening in the PBC. Alright? So don't tell me shit about Terence Crawford. Hey, they're going to duck him still. Because look at what happened with Errol Spence. Errol Spence got the fights he want. Now they calling Errol Spence out. What the fuck you talking about? Okay, Errol Spence won his championship from Kell Brook in 2000. I believe it is 2017. I need to go check my facts on that. Errol Spence has only been world champion for 2 years now. I can verify that fact, right? And I think he beat Kell Brook in 2017. It wasn't 2018. Let me go check it out right now. My point being that it's bullshit talking about Errol Spence ain't getting the fights that he wants. Terrence Crawford been on welterweight for 2 years now, almost 3. Same amount of time that Errol Spence became world champion. Hold on, let me pull it up. I could have gone on Wikipedia or BoxRec. I want to show you guys something. Yeah, 2017. May of 2017. Hope you guys can see this in reverse, though. Y'all don't have to put this in front of a mirror. May of 2017, he became world champion. The IBF world champion. It took him 2 years. 2 years, and here's the names that he got. He got Lamont Peterson. He didn't get the top guys, but he got Lamont Peterson right after the Kell Brook fight. Then he had a dud. Then he had Mikey Garcia. Pound for pound fighter. And then he got Sean Porter, all in 2019. If Terrence Crawford had jumped across to the PBC last year, he guaranteed to get all the top fights in 2020. All. He wouldn't have just gotten Errol Spence. He might get Errol Spence. We'll see. Right? You on the PBC side? Are you stupid? You gotta be stupid now to be like you going to be on the PBC and you gonna get those fights. No ifs, buts, or maybes. Some fighters might duck you, but you won't get the top tier guys to face you. I'll hate him. He make it happen. So, at the end of the day, that's bullshit as well. All right? And that's what Bob Arum make you feel. And he's using Terrence Crawford as kind of puppeting him somewhat. And his sentiment. And some of you guys out there be puppeting that sentiment. But it's just common sense. I mean, it's common sense. You go to the PBC, you're going to get your fights that you want with the guys on the PBC. You're going to get all of them. Right? Even Keith Thurman said it. All of us going to face each other. We have no choice. All right? I remember when Sean Porter wanted Andre Berto. Andre Berto didn't really want that fight, but he knew he had to face Sean Porter. He said, all of us got to face each other anyway. We in the same banner. That's the one thing about the PBC. PBC, you're going to have to face the other guys. You're going to have to. There ain't nobody ducking no fight. You can try and hold it off, but it ain't going to last for long. So, yeah, Porter, if Terrence Crawford went to the PBC, I think he would have been making more money than he's making at top rank. But he's advised by, he got people like Timothy Bradley in his ear and shit. And Timothy Bradley be talking that junk and shit to, again, keep it relevant. But it's old school tactics. Ain't nobody in the PBC taking that shit on. Come across to the PBC then. Come across on our side of the pond. You really want these fights? Come across by us. Terrence Crawford ain't going to do that shit. He talking about he the A side. It's bullshit. But the point is, the fact that we're talking about it, and we're not talking about Demetrius Andrade, means that, once again, Demetrius Andrade is left in the dust. Demetrius Andrade is the guy that's being ducked a lot. But Terrence Crawford can't get them tough fights. I agree. Opportunities have come his way, though. Sean Porter went all the way on ESPN. Then he fucked it up. I thought he came on ESPN to talk about the Terrence Crawford fight and try to push that shit. And then he's on right now. He's on PBC on Fox. He's got his little commentary thing going on with that too. But at the end of the day, people, reporters and stuff entertain, question Terrence Crawford about Sean Porter. He not interested in Sean Porter, which is bullshit. You should be interested in Sean Porter. You said you want all the smoke. You want all of them. Then there ain't no fucking friends in boxing. There's no friends in boxing like that. That's bread on your table. You should be wanting to have a fight with Sean Porter, like everybody else. That's bullshit about he's my brother. I don't want to hear that shit. So, at the end of the day, though, the promotional strategy that Crawford is using is creating buzz on his name. It's creating buzz on his name, and we're talking about it. And that's important. Once you can stay relevant, then that helps your situation. That's how Mayweather-Pacquiao got so big. Okay? Because Pacquiao was staying relevant. Even though we all know Pacquiao was just punking Mayweather. Mayweather was putting offers to the table, and this motherfucker be turning the shit down. Right? Y'all talk about Wilder again versus Anthony Joshua. Joshua, when they made, DAZN made an offer to him, and he turned that shit down. You can't say Anthony Joshua ducking my ass after that. And he's trying to say that narrative, but that's bullshit. And all the fans saying that's bullshit. In fact, Anthony Joshua say, I want the Wilder fight. I don't want to face Deontay Wilder. That's what Anthony Joshua be saying out of his mouth. The opposite of what you guys be saying. So y'all full of shit when it comes to that. Again, I am not somebody who has necessarily a big ship in the race with either Terrence Crawford or any of these guys. The only thing I'm saying is you got to know there's a bullshit narrative. Terrence Crawford talking about all these guys ducking me. They ain't nobody ducking you. Ain't nobody ducking you, son. But you going to have to make noise because you are the one out of the loop. Everybody else is in the loop. Nobody care about you. That's the problem. Right? Nobody cares about you like that. All right? So you have to get yourself into the loop. Are they interested in facing you? Obviously not. Do they want to face you? Obviously not. Does that mean they're ducking you? Whether they're ducking you or not, they're not interested in you. It's like you don't even exist to them, someone. Until PBC started mentioning it, and then we realized, oh, that's bullshit. Sean Porter and Kenny Porter wanted to face Terrence Crawford. Errol Spence has been saying, and he continues to say, he wants Terrence Crawford. And Kell Brook wants Terrence Crawford. So when you look at those guys, you can't say that they're ducking you. Everybody ducking you when they're saying they want you. Or if they're not saying they want you, you're saying you're not interested in them, which doesn't make no damn sense to me. All right? So you can't say you're being ducked by an entire division, especially the PBC, and you not interested in facing a PBC fighter. It's just bullshit. Blowing smoke up our ass. And that's the point that I'm making all the time. But the point is, we're making this discussion. And when we're making a discussion like this, it's good because that helps Terrence Crawford. He stays relevant. He's staying in people's mouths. All right? People still believe he's pound for pound #1 fighter in the world. And that works well for Errol Spence. When he whoops his ass, he could have beaten the #1 pound for pound fighter in the world. So it works very well for Errol Spence. Right? But that's if Errol Spence faces him. If it ain't somebody else facing him, And once again, he is a world champion. So that means Errol Spence might face him, or Manny Pacquiao might face him. Now, I heard people making cases that Manny Pacquiao should face Errol Spence next. I mean, that would be great, but honestly speaking, I don't know if that's feasible, according to Showbiz the Adult. So you can see I can talk boxing nonstop for the next couple of hours. I definitely can do that. My point, anyway, goes to another point. Demetrius Andrade. We're not hearing potential matchups with Demetrius Andrade and anybody. Nobody's talking about Demetrius Andrade versus Canelo. Nobody's talking about Demetrius Andrade versus Triple G. Nobody's talking about Demetrius Andrade versus Jamal Charlo. As much as he did that, he's not relevant like that. Nobody's talking about him. So Demetrius Andrade and his promotional team and his management team, they need to seriously sit down and get some shit going. Because Demetrius Andrade has no clue how is he going to proceed. He's facing some dud again. These guys just keep on facing duds. And to me, it's a waste of fucking time. We saw Jamal Charlo face a dud. Now, I don't mean to call the guy a dud, but he a pretty good boxer. He did all right. But he a dud. I'm going to tell you why he's a dud. He's not on Jamal Charlo's level. He's not been in Jamal Charlo's weight class. Okay? He's not on his level. Like, no way, shape, or form he's on his level. He's good boxing and everything. He strength-wise, no. In terms of, he was able to hang with Jamal a little bit too long. Jamal should have knocked him out already. My point is, them guys not on your level, man. You can't be talking about this shit and you're not on your level. Like, please, get him out of the way. And Jamal Charlo, get somebody on your level to fight. Like Demetrius Andrade. What the fuck is wrong with y'all people? You can always have a rematch. If the first fight turned out good, the rematch going to be bigger. Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz. Anthony Joshua got his ass beat. The rematch was bigger. So why don't you guys do that? What the fuck is wrong with y'all people? Jamal Charlo said he want to have a Canelo fight. He's supposed to shoot for the stars. Triple G fight. He's supposed to shoot for the stars. Demetrius Andrade fight. You should be saying that in almost the same intensity. Guy's young. He undefeated. None of the two guys not undefeated. They're not. They may be younger than you, but they're not undefeated. You should be thinking about that. You should be thinking about two champions clashing, the unification. That would set one of you guys up to face a Canelo, to face a Triple G. Nope. 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 Not even a mention. Right? And so the strategy that these guys need to employ, in my opinion, especially Demetrius Andrade and his team, is you need to get your ass up and start talking. You need to run your mouth nonstop. All right? And stop smiling so much and climbing around. Be serious about business. You know, say these guys ducking me. All of them ducking me. And then go to work. Or the onslaught, whether it's on Twitter or wherever, use social media and don't stop talking. Be outspoken. Don't stop talking. It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even matter if you make sense or not. Don't stop talking. Any promoter need to do the same thing. They all ducking him. They're all ducking Demetrius Andrade. Look, we are in the same zone, and they're ducking him. The promoter needs to trash talk too. He needs to talk shit. The promoter needs to talk shit. Demetrius Andrade need to talk shit. He needs outspoken people to be talking shit. And they need to keep the pressure on so the fans be saying, all right, these people need to face. They be saying it at 154, but they need to really say it now. All right? And Demetrius Andrade say, hell, Canelo be going here, there, everywhere, but he's not facing me. Well, Ninja, you got to face me. Billy Joe Saunders don't want to face me. They're all afraid of me. You need to talk this shit like the Terrence Crawford's doing. It's shit talking. It's just shit talking. To get the fight. Gary Russell Jr. did the same thing recently. Now he's mum and he's silent again. All right, you can't be silent. You have to keep the pressure on, and that's what Terrence Crawford is doing. That's why we have the discussion. It's a very smart thing to do. Terrence Crawford should keep it up, right? Because he's doing the right thing. Bomac also doesn't need to be talking trash nonstop, trash talk all the way through, even up to the day of the fucking fight. Trash talk. Trash talk the hell out of things. That's how you get ratings up. That's how you get your pay-per-view up. That's how you get anything up. All right? He ain't be knocking out people. He doing his job. So he's looking exciting. Right? And that's the key right here. That's what they're doing, being outspoken. They don't have really much of any other plans as what's the strategy for the next going forward. But this is what they're doing. They're trash talking the shit out of everything. Whoever they get as the next opponent, well, whatever they be, doesn't matter. Dustbin can, name, doesn't matter. Just keeping on working and talking that smack. And just keep talking, talk that smack. And once you're doing your job in the ring, and you're knocking those motherfuckers, them fools out that don't supposed to be in the ring with you, you'll be fine. Or just outclassing them. You'll be fine. Let's go on to another topic that a lot of people be talking about. Lomachenko versus Gervonta Davis. The whole fucking lightweight division is lit. Okay, it's a lit division right now. We got Teofimo Lopez, we got Ryan Garcia, we got Devin Haney, we got Lomachenko, we got Gervonta Davis, we got that kid, what's his name? God damn it. Even Tevin Farmer's talking about moving up, and Gary Russell Jr. It looks like Leo Santa Cruz might join the lot. That's going to be a fucking flame division. Now, the question is, will all these fighters face each other? Well, Teofimo Lopez is pretty big, and Devin Haney's pretty big. They're probably going to be moving up very soon. But I'm hearing Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Davis. That sounds like a good fight. That's a good fight. Ryan Garcia a little bit green, but that's okay. We'll see how that goes out. Ryan Garcia always wanted to face Gervonta Davis, so that should be a good fight. Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez definitely locked in. That should be a good fight as well. You know, we still got some other side guys in the lightweight division. You know, a bunch of guys actually in the lightweight division that we haven't even talked about. It. Not on those guys' level, but they're in the lightweight division. And you really do have to pay attention to them guys too. You know what I mean? So that's what I got to say. I think Demetrius Andrade needs to be more outspoken. Unfortunately for him, his promoter needs to be on the same page with him. That promoter can't be passive aggressive. You got to be more aggressive on things. His team, his management team, and getting fights and stuff, they need to be more aggressive. Fuck the mandatories. I'm tired of hearing some fucking mandatory that he has to face. Doesn't he have voluntaries as well? I mean, he could have implemented a voluntary. You need to start really trying to chase down the big fights, Demetrius Andrade, aggressively. You need to be more aggressive. So maybe you even have to go up to 168 and fight somebody, but you need to fight somebody, okay? Um, and you got some great names at 168, but you need to really start plugging these motherfucker asses. Maybe you need to also beat people at 168 and 160. Maybe you need to jump up and down between those two weight classes. But at the end of the day, Demetrius Andrade needs to actually seriously think about how he's proceeding forward. He's too fucking quiet. You're just too quiet. You're too quiet. You're telling me you're content with your situation of facing nobody. That's what you're basically saying. You know, that's why a lot of people ain't buying into Terrence Crawford stuff. At least I ain't. Is because he seemed content fighting bums. Guys below his standard. I'm not saying they're bums, but below his standard. He seems cool with that. He's like, oh, okay, we don't need them. He said he don't need them. Okay, you don't need them, then fight the bums. He said he's a show ballot Hall of Fame already. He don't need nobody. Okay, then you don't need nobody. Then go ahead and continue fighting bums. Then we don't need to see the Errol Spence. You don't want to see no Errol Spence versus you fight. You good. You gotta be hungry. You gotta come out here and be hungry, ninja. Y'all have to be hungry about what you want. If you're not hungry about it, then fuck you. You know what I'm saying? If you're content, then you be like, oh yeah, they don't need me. I don't need them. They need me. No, they don't need you. They don't need you. Okay? You need them at welterweight to make something happen, to actually have some kind of name on your resume. All right? That's just my thoughts. I don't know about him. And he don't have much names on his resume that are big names like those guys. He don't. He got Gamboa. That's about it. Maybe Ricky Burns. But Ricky Burns never been on them guys' level. Never. Get Gamboa. That's it. Okay? Ricky Burns got beat by Omar Figueroa. You believe this shit? Oh, it's crazy. Dennis Ugas beat Omar Figueroa. I mean, come on, God now. So I'm just saying that, you know, he needs their names on his resume. Okay? They don't need his name on their resume, but it'd be great on their resume because he's one of the top guys there. Right? It's actually the other way around. And it's interesting how Terrence Crawford will flip the script and do a lot of spin and shit. But at the end of the day, let me say this. It's not that they don't need him. He more needs them than they need him right now. They're all playing ball with each other, and they left him out the loop, and he needs to find a way to get into the loop. Once he gets in, he's fine. Right? And we all know this. All right, man. So Demetrius Andrade is in a similar situation in that respect, except that directly these guys have turned down his fights. Fights with him, they have directly turned him down. Billy Joe Saunders directly turned him down. Triple G's directly turned him. Canelo turned him down. Danny Jacobs just made sure he was eliminated from the process, so he didn't even have to face him. Jamal Charlo, let's see what he do. Let's see what his response is. Let's see if Jamal Charlo will engage Demetrius Andrade. They have some beef from since back in 154, so they should really face each other. We'll see. But this is what we have to do with this fight, fans. Let's go down to, like I said, the lightweight division is very lit. It's very exciting. Everybody's accusing Gervonta Davis of ducking these guys. You know, we don't know who he'll face next. And it's interesting. Gervonta Davis' situation is very similar in many respects to Terrence Crawford's situation. Gervonta Davis in this respect. Gervonta Davis, I said in this respect, so you guys gotta, I'm qualifying what it is. Gervonta Davis hasn't been facing top stellar opponents continuously at all. Since the Jose Pedraza event, he's had one legitimate fight that we could talk about, which is Jesus Cuellar. Okay? And Jesus Cuellar came up in weight. Alright? Other than that, he ain't been facing nobody. Y'all talk about the other guy. I know who you're talking about. No, I'm not going to include him. Gamboa is a step up. Okay? And it was a good step up in the lightweight division. Okay? Gamboa is a lightweight, so he's a good name as well. Gamboa hasn't been getting fights that he really wants to get. It's all good. Finally got Rocky Martinez. The thing about it is that he faces Gamboa, which I think is his best win to date. Not even Pedraza. Pedraza was good, but he was inexperienced in the sense that he didn't really have no marquee fights before that. And then after he had the Tank fight, he had the marquee fight with Lomachenko, great fight, and he actually hung in there against Lomachenko, made it competitive. However, Pedraza Ain't nothing like Gamboa. Gamboa had a lot of experience, seasoned champion. Showed his performances before were just fantastic performances against legitimate opponents. And Gamboa, in my opinion, carried Tank the furthest because he knew how to tie him up, how to turn his body, how to wear him down because he was the bigger, physically stronger guy in that ring. Twisted his leg, unfortunately for him, but he put up a decent fight, even though it was one-sided for most of the fight, unlike Pedraza's fight, which was to and fro. What it showed me though is this: that the veteran had a lot more knowledge, experience, and skills to stay long enough. So this guy only took him out in the 12th round. And again, I'm pretty sure Gamboa would have still got up with his hurt ass self and fought on to the final bell. What that means is not only was he tough and durable, but he knew how to survive pretty well in that fight. And when a guy's trying to survive, as Devin Haney said, it's kind of hard to get him out of there. Devin Haney would know because he went the distance also with another opponent that's not on the level of Gamboa, but nonetheless he went the distance with a skilled guy. My point being that them two guys, both Gervonta Davis and Terrence Crawford, have not faced the most stellar competition. With Terrence Crawford, we're talking about at welterweight, where with Gervonta Davis, we're talking about super featherweight and now lightweight. But even so, Gervonta Davis, y'all critique him and stuff and say he ain't gonna face the top tier guys. Well, let's see. First of all, if he won't face the top tier guys, Lomachenko's on the other side of the pond, so it's Teofimo Lopez. But then you also got Ryan Garcia, and Devin Haney are with DAZN. We'll see how that pans out. Should be good. Now you gotta understand something, and this is a lot of things a lot of people don't realize. If you're going to praise Terrence Crawford for being ducked and facing that level of opposition he's facing, then you're going to have to praise Gervonta Davis for facing better opposition than Terrence Crawford has been currently facing in his first fight at lightweight. You're going to have to praise him. Because if you're praising Terrence Crawford for that, then you got to praise Gervonta Davis for that. All right? You got to stay consistent. That's all I'm saying. Just keep the same energy. All right? Yes, Gervonta Davis ain't faced stellar competition for most of his career. I agree, 100%. What I don't agree with is how y'all make this guy, Gervonta Davis, because he's a PBC fighter, because he's on the Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s banner, a villain for that, whereas Terrence Crawford's getting praised for doing subpar shit. Okay? And that's my problem with the hypocrisy of boxing. Y'all can't go in on the PBC fighters and have all this PBC hate. Okay? When you're praising a guy for doing mediocre shit. Shit he's supposed to do anyway. Terrence Crawford was supposed to beat Amir Khan. He was supposed to beat Jeff Horn. He was supposed to beat Jose Benavidez. He was supposed to be... That's what people say. Terrence Crawford going into fights which we expect him to win. He was supposed to beat... what's the kid's name? Kavaliauskas. They're supposed to beat that dude. Okay? Kavaliauskas made it a much more tougher fight for Terrence than we expected. We didn't expect two guys to be tagging Terrence Crawford like that. Okay? Amir Khan, we expected Terrence Crawford to stop Amir Khan. Didn't stop him, but, he quit. And then, Jose Benavidez, we expected that fight to be competitive, to be honest with you. But we expected Terrence Crawford to get Jose Benavidez out of there based on what the Maestro did to him. It took him 12 rounds to do that. All right? My point anyway is this. Terrence Crawford and Gervonta Davis are in the same boat at this present time. People say Terrence Crawford is being ducked, whereas Gervonta Davis is not being ducked. The same people are calling out Gervonta Davis, and this is true. The difference is, what do these two fighters, the two fighters, whoever they face next, they're going to be judging them. Now, a lot of people say, Leo Santa Cruz versus Gervonta Davis is terrible. That's the case. Keep that same energy. If Terrence Crawford does a matchup with somebody who has been doing well in boxing, but not the ones that we expect him to face, you got to do the same thing for Terrence Crawford. And that's all I'm saying. On that note, though, I just wanted to say thank you guys for 2019 supporting my channel. The channel has done quite well, actually. I thank you guys who donated to my channel, though it was more sporadic, few and far between. Some of you guys did donate to my channel, substantial portions of money. I thank you very much for that. Do remember you can still donate to my channel via Western Union or MoneyGram, and keep the same energy. This was a live stream. I am what you need. I'm gonna catch you guys later. Demetrius Andrade, you got to speak out more, buddy, and you got to get Eddie Hearn behind you 100%. Eddie Hearn cannot be lackluster. He has to come very strong and actually demand the fights that he needs, that Demetrius Andrade needs to get. Make it ugly. I'm gonna catch you guys later. Peace. I'm out of here.